All right, well, we're going to answer, Pat, your email questions from our chat room. Howard begins us off, and he says, how would you go about teaching kids that there is a heaven? One little boy in my Sunday school class doesn't even think there's a heaven. How would you convince him?
Would you convince him to tell him, about what's there? What else would you do? You describe it for him. You know, when my brother was, he had cancer, and I was trying to tell him about the Lord and all kinds of things, and then finally it occurred to me, look, you better get him ready for heaven because he's going to die. And so we had lunch, and I talked to him. I said, you know, let me tell you about heaven. So I told him about heaven, and then I said, you want to go there? And he said yes, and so I led him to the Lord over lunch.
Wow. And
then later, not too long after, he passed on. But you have to tell them about heaven. You say, don't believe. I mean, tell them how wonderful it is. Little kids will believe things. I just can't believe that he doesn't believe it if you tell him about it.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. All right, Sharon says, I told my boyfriend weeks ago that I cheated on him. Now, when we argue, he says his ex was a better lover than me and cheating must run in my family. We did have a baby out of wedlock, so I planned on marrying my boyfriend, but now I don't know if he wants to be in this relationship. My self-esteem is dead. I've cried so much that my eyes are swollen. I've begged him to forgive me. What do I do?
You know, I hate to sit in judgment and sound like an old fuddy-duddy, but, honey, you're living in sin. They call that stuff fornication. And, you know, you got a baby out of wedlock, or you're getting ready to. I mean, what kind of a life is that for a little kid? And your boyfriend thinks that his ex was a better lover than you are. I mean, you're keeping score on how you're having sex. I mean, what kind of a deal is that? Honestly.
I'm with you.
And
you're not an old fuddy-duddy for that one, because I totally agree.
Well, I mean, it's terrible. Break it off and go get yourself a guy who's a clean-living person who will be faithful to you and you be faithful to him, and then get married if you feel it's appropriate, if you two of you find the Lord. But don't cry your eyes out because of some illicit relationship that's going bad. So much.
I know.
Give me another question.
I know. And the first thing she needs to do is you gotta get your life right for yourself. Know who you are in Jesus Christ, because if you don't value yourself and you don't know where your worth is in the Lord, how is someone else going to know it? Okay. Prince says, a few weeks ago, I was terminated from my job. My mom and I depend on my salary to make it each month. I believe when one door closes, God will open another one and provide for us. However, my mom doesn't believe this. She's panicking. This is causing strife in our home when we really need to be united. What can I do to help her understand that God will take care of us?
Live it, keep your mouth shut, and go ahead and do your thing and let the Lord bless you. I mean, don't argue with your mother. Just pray and say, Mother, watch what's going to happen. God's going to do it. Then you go forward and do your thing. I mean, don't waste your time arguing with her that she doesn't believe that God will do what he says he'll do. He will bless you. He will give you the appropriate job. You've got it right. You know, he closes one door and he opens another one. So just begin to thank him for that door, and don't spend time arguing with your mother. All right?
Good word.
Thank you.
Okay, Cindy asked, I know the Bible teaches us that there are times when we should fast and pray. There have been situations in my life where I've felt led to do so. However, I'm insulin resistant and can't skip meals. Would giving up certain foods for a period of time be considered fasting with my health issues? That's a good question.
It certainly would. I mean, there's a so-called Daniel fast where he ate no pleasant bread. He didn't eat sweets. You know, there was a time. So people can deny themselves. That's one of the things that we're getting close to Lent. My wife said we're almost coming to Lent. I mean, I guess Easter's a little earlier this year. But, you know, you name it. I mean, whatever pleasure you've got, you can fast from that. Some people go on a fast where it's just juice, some where it's just water. Various types of fast. They fast one meal a week, a day or something. I mean, anything. But it's to the Lord. What you're saying is, I'm denying myself something that I'm entitled to show that I really want to serve you. And that's what a fast is all about.
Good deal. If you have any more questions, just log on to CBN.com.